When everyone else ran, she stood still. On the edge of Sector 9's wild zone, a place feared by all species, 17-year-old Yuna, born on the hostile death world KG-3, was left behind in the hunting grounds of the galaxy's most dangerous beasts. Her crew, including the quiet pilot Day, was ordered to evacuate when their shuttle crashed during a recon mission. But Yuna, she didn't move. The predators were drawn to movement. They hunted by sight, by sound, by vibration. The first 10 minutes passed with the razor beasts circling. 10 minutes more and their growls turned into curiosity. Why wasn't she running? Why wasn't she afraid? Emotional pull. Yuna wasn't just brave. She was trained to endure from birth, on a world where children were taught to survive hurricanes, lava, and mind-gnawing beasts by the age of 6. Outro. As the last second of the 20-minute mark passed, Yuna's eyes narrowed. It was time to move. Part 2. The First Strike. Intro. Yuna leapt sideways, landing silently behind a cluster of stone trees. The alpha predator, a towering beast with sapphire skin and tusks like plasma blades, screeched. The others joined in. The hunt had begun again, but this time Yuna was leading it. Using dirt, heat pockets, and terrain she memorized during the crash, Yuna lured one beast into a lava pit, another into a swarm of burrowing screamers. One by one, the so-called unbeatable apex predators were outsmarted by a teenage girl with no weapons, only her brain. Character moment. Meanwhile, in orbit, Day begged his commander to send help. "Yuna's still down there," he whispered. "She won't die easy, but she shouldn't be alone." The commander only shook his head. "She's a Doomborn. If anything, those monsters are the ones who should be afraid." Outro. Yuna stood above the carcass of the third predator, blood dripping from a sharpened bone in her hand. 3 down, 4 to go. Part 3. The Trap Intro. Yuna began crafting a trap. Using the remains of fallen beasts, she built decoys, sound bouncers, and set up a false escape route. She was thinking faster than the creatures could track, but the biggest challenge came not from the predators, but from within. KG-3 survivors often dealt with battle shock. Her fingers trembled, her heart raced. Her memories swirled with flashes of her lost older brother Jin, who had once stood in front of a magma serpent to protect her. She gritted her teeth. "I won't fall now, Appa." The beast circled her final trap, a gorge lined with echoing canyons and a gravity-shifting stone she activated using her blood and heat signature. Twist. Just as she lured the last 3 alphas to the edge, a deep rumble sounded. A hidden 8th predator, the Void Howler, appeared. It had been watching all along. Outro. Yuna's eyes met the Howler's glowing ones. "You're smarter," she said softly. "But I'm KG-born. That means I'm smarter and meaner." Part 4. The Final Turn. Q&A ending intro. The Void. Howler pounced. Yuna didn't run. She used her last decoy, a skin-mimicking shell of her own shape, to bait the Howler into the gorge. It didn't fall for it, until Yuna herself jumped, mid-air, landing on its back, jamming her blood-activated shard into its neural spine. It screeched, stumbled, and crashed into the trap. The entire canyon collapsed. Day and a rescue team arrived just as Yuna crawled from the rubble, covered in ash and beast blood. Day ran to her. "You okay?" "I'm hungry," she replied flatly, "and I hate space jungles." Ending. Hook. The Galactic News called her a myth. The apex predators had ruled for centuries. Not anymore. They called her a Doomborn. But to Earth and every world watching, she was humanity's reminder. Never underestimate a human girl trained by a death world. Yuna ran through the wild jungle, silent as a shadow. The trees were tall and twisted, their branches like claws. The ground was hot and soft, full of holes and danger. But Yuna knew where to go. She had seen the land from above during the crash. She had remembered the map in her head. The beasts chased after her. Their steps were loud. Their growls shook the trees. But they were big and heavy. She was small and fast. She jumped over sharp roots. She crawled through narrow gaps. She moved, like water, smooth and quiet. Behind her, one beast fell into a lava pit. It screamed once, then was gone. Yuna had led it there on purpose. She smiled for a second. Another beast followed her scent, but Yuna had taken a quick turn near a hive of screamers, tiny bugs that hated loud sounds. As the beast passed, the bugs exploded in its face. It ran, blind and burning, smashing into a stone wall. Yuna kept moving. One more beast got too close. She stopped and dropped to the ground, letting it pass. Then she grabbed a sharp bone and drove it into the beast's leg. It roared and rolled down a hill into a nest of spike birds. They tore it apart. 3 down. Yuna stood on a rock, looking down at the mess. Her chest rose and fell with deep breaths. She was tired. Her legs ached. Her arm was bleeding. But she was alive, and smarter than them. Far above the planet, Day was still watching. He had not left the screen. His hands were shaking. "We have to go down," he told the commander again. "She's still fighting." "She won't last," the commander said. "No human could." "She's not just human," Day said quietly. "She's Doomborn." The commander frowned. Then the beasts should be worried. Back on the surface, Yuna heard a new sound. It was not loud. It was deep and slow, like thunder from inside the earth. She turned her head. A new shadow moved between the trees. Something bigger was coming. Yuna took one step back. She was not afraid, but she was careful. She gripped the sharpened bone in her hand. Her heart beat faster. 3 beasts were gone. 4 were left. She whispered to herself, "I'm not done yet," and she disappeared into the trees once more. The forest went quiet. Even the wind stopped moving. Yuna crouched behind a thick root, hiding. She watched the trees carefully, then it stepped out. The final beast, the biggest one, the alpha of alphas. It was tall like a tower. Its body was black and silver, and its claws were longer than her arms. Its eyes were red and steam came out of its mouth. This was the one that ruled the others, the one that never lost. The other beasts stood behind it, waiting. They obeyed it. They feared it. But Yuna did not. She moved slowly, crawling between thick vines. She was not ready to fight it yet. She had to break the others first. She had to make the alpha feel alone. The 4th beast had followed her scent again. She led it. She guided it into a field of sleeping dust flowers. As soon as it stepped inside, she threw a small rock at a tree. The noise caused the flowers to open. A thick mist filled the air. The beast began coughing. It fell, shaking. Its body went still. 4 down. 3 left. Yuna moved again. She made no sound. The 5th beast had sharper senses. It smelled her from far away. But she had planned this. She rubbed her arm with fire moss and let the scent lead it to a pond. It stepped into the water. That's when the black vines under the surface moved. Water strangles. They wrapped around the beast, dragging it under. Bubbles rose. Then nothing. 5 down. 2 left. Now the alpha was angry. It roared, shaking the whole jungle. The birds flew away. The ground cracked. Yuna stood up. She was no longer hiding. She faced the alpha from across the clearing. Her hands were empty. Her arms were covered in mud and blood. Her eyes were calm. The 6th beast rushed at her. She didn't move. At the last second, she dropped into a hole she had dug earlier. The beast flew over her and slammed into a tree. Its neck cracked. It didn't get up. Now only one remained. The alpha Yuna walked toward it. The alpha growled and crouched. It was ready to strike, ready to end her. But Yuna kept walking. When she was 5 steps away, she stopped. She looked into its red eyes. And then she turned her back. The alpha paused. No prey ever turned their back. It stepped forward, confused. Why wasn't she afraid? Yuna kept walking. Slow. Calm. Then the vines under her feet moved. Not fast. Just a little. She had led it to the sleeping ground of the root worms. They only woke when they felt heat, and the alpha was full of heat. As it stepped forward again, the ground shook. Thick, sharp vines wrapped around its legs. The alpha roared and struggled, but it was too late. The jungle had claimed it. Yuna turned around and watched it sink. "All 7, she whispered. Then she sat down, tired and shaking. Smoke still hung in the air. The jungle was quiet now. No beasts moved, no more growls, no more blood. Only Yuna remained. She sat on a broken stone, breathing slowly. Her arms were scraped, her legs shook, her eyes were tired, but clear. Around her were the signs of battle, claw marks in trees, torn up roots, and trails of blood. But none of it touched her spirit. She had done it. All 7 apex beasts, hunted down with nothing but a sharp mind and scars from the world that had made her strong. From orbit, the rescue ship finally landed. It came down with a low hum, dust flying around its feet. Soldiers stepped out, armed, careful, unsure of what they would find. At first, they didn't see her. She was so quiet, so still. Then Day ran past them all. His helmet dropped. He didn't wait for orders. His boots crushed vines as he ran into the trees. And there, through the branches, he saw her. Yuna stood up slowly. Day stopped, afraid to speak. He had seen warriors return from war before, but Yuna looked different. Not broken, not angry. She looked calm. He said her name softly. Yuna. She smiled, weak, but real. "I'm fine," she said. "It's over now." Soldiers arrived. Behind him, weapons still ready. When they saw the giant body of the alpha beast lying dead, they froze. Some gasped. Some dropped their guns. "Is this real?" one whispered. Another stared at Yuna. "You killed them all? Alone?" Yuna looked at the body. "I didn't kill them," she said. "I just let them lose." The commander stepped forward. He had seen wars. He had led armies, but he had never seen anything like this. His voice was quiet. "No human ever survived an alpha hunt before." "I'm not just human," Yuna replied. "I'm Doomborn." He nodded slowly. "And you changed everything." Back at the Galactic station, news spread fast. Video feeds from the rescue ship went viral. People all over the galaxy watched. First, in disbelief, then in awe, and then in fear. For the first time, the most dangerous beasts of the galaxy had been outsmarted, not with weapons, not with war, with calm, with silence, with strategy, by a 17-year-old girl from a death world. They called her the Silent Flame. They called her the predator of predators. They called her the one who waits. Yuna didn't care for titles. She didn't want attention. She only asked, for one thing, send ships to KG3. There are more kids like me. Strong kids. Brave ones. But no one helps them. The galaxy listened. For the first time in history, peace ships were sent to KG3. Schools were built. Safe zones were made. Families got food and shelter. The forgotten world was no longer forgotten. And at the center of it all, Yuna, quiet, calm, still. 1 week later, Yuna stood at a ceremony. The president of the Galactic Union tried to give her a medal. She gently pushed it away. "I don't need medals," she said. "I need change." The crowd fell silent. The president nodded. "Then we'll give you that instead." Behind her, Day smiled. "She's not like the others," he told the reporter next to him. The reporter laughed softly. "She's not like anyone." That night, Yuna sat alone on a balcony. She looked up at the stars. A small voice beside her said, "Are you okay?" It was a girl, no older than 9, one of the rescued kids from KG3. She had big eyes and a soft voice. Yuna nodded. "I'm okay now." The girl sat beside her. "They say you're a hero." Yuna looked at the stars. Heroes run into danger. I just didn't run away. The girl thought for a moment. Maybe being still is braver than running. Una smiled. Yes, she said. Sometimes it is. As the stars blinked above and the cold wind blew softly, Una closed her eyes. She remembered the beasts. She remembered the silence. She remembered standing still for 20 long minutes, and how that stillness shook the galaxy. In a universe full of noise, fear, and fire, it was the quiet girl who never flinched, who waited, who watched, who won, the Doomborn girl, and now. The galaxy would never forget her name.